This one's easy, right? Double beyond. Hey guys, Keydog here. New video. I'm gonna do a map, show you the build. This is a Cosprey's Coming Calamity Assassin. I'll do this map, show you some gameplay. If you like the gameplay, you can watch the rest of this video and chat. Stop! Don't try to make me laugh. Alright, so you just charge through. It's super like easy mode. You pick up some currency, you just keep charging, you keep the pain train rolling. This is a double beyond map, so it's like this is like not typical. Well, kind of typical for me, but ooh, strand map. Okay, strong boxing. I got illusion man right there. We're gonna kill some monsters. You kill monsters, you have a 6-second window where the 7 chaos. Oh my god. Where the heralds will just proc each other over and over and over again to get it started. It's in the Cosprey's, which we'll talk about. Okay, so basically, if you look right here, if I just sit right here, look at my lightning bolts. You see that? My lightning bolts. Well, that guy's a proxy shield. But anyways, I don't have to do anything. Oh man, I'm stuck. Nice game. So I don't have to do anything. I just shield charge through. My lightning bolts hit at such a frequency where I can just kind of stand around and pick up loot, and they protect me, right? Get to the boss, a little bit iffy on the boss, so I pop my Vault Breach, it juices everything, I pop a little of that, and they're all dead. See? They're all dead, easy game. Okay, this is a fake breach, so I don't need to kill them. They give no XP. Cool. So now you see the map, that is like pretty typical like clear speed if you're like kind of focused. So what is the build? What does it revolve around? Well, build revolves around 1 or 2 items, right? The first one, the completely necessary item, is a Coming Calamity. So let's talk about all the items first. Coming Calamity makes it so that all your heralds always reserve 45% mana, right? Why is that important? Because when you have something that has 25% mana reservation, like initially, every support you add to it is multiplicative of the one before, right? So it's like 1.1 times 1.3 times 1.4 times, and it just keeps adding up, and it goes over 100%. So you can't actually like get 2 juiced up heralds without this chest. So you put it on, and now no matter what links you have, it makes the Herald of Thunder 45% reservation, right? And you still have a little bit of mana left over, you see, 120 for shield charging, right? So that's how it works. The way to get around is I'm using Insanity Gloves, and but first let's talk about the links. So I'm using Herald of Thunder. You don't need a +1 or anything. The most important links are increased critical strikes, because heralds have 0% base crit, right? Like actually 0. So you need to add base crit to it, and there's a couple ways I'm doing that. The most important, of course, is 2% right here. It's also linked to Ink AoE. Now Ink AoE, a lot of people can swap this out for any other skill gem, increased crit damages, added lightning, whatever you want. The Ink AoE for me is because if you're standing still, you can test this in like an alira mission. If you put this in, the range at which the lightning bolt will strike an enemy is a little bit further, right? So it helps chain a tiny bit further, and because I don't need damage on this build anymore, I can just take out my added lightning, my increased crit damages, and I can put this in to get a little bit of pseudo AoE for the lightning bolts, which is basically Herald of Ice eventually too. Okay, and I have lightning pen on here. You can switch this for added lightning, it really doesn't matter. This one's just kind of nice because I have added cold. This might not even be like the best one, but just what I'm using. Added cold because you need some kind of cold damage to freeze, right, and propagate the Herald of Ice. So you might get a little bit here and there, but this is like enough to like very reliably shatter. Okay, Empower. So this Empower here is also one that you can switch out. This is up to you, because Empower, I have a +1 chest, so it makes the Empower level 5, right? Very strong. But if you don't want to use this, you can use, once again, added lightning, increased crit damages, whatever damage gem you want. And so what will happen is you run around, and how do you proc the Herald of Thunder when you're running around, right? Well, first, what you're going to do is you're going to want to equip a Cosprey's Malice. Now, you don't have to. You can still use a like a Bright Beak if you want to go faster, and then what you'll do is in the Bright Beak you'll just put in like a self-cast spell. This allows me to not have to self-cast, right? I just shield charge into the monster. So the Cosprey's, what happens is I enter the map and I shield charge. When I crit with my shield charge, and I'm an assassin, so I have very high crit, the shield charge will proc whatever cold skill is in here. And it's a Glacial Cascade, right? And this Glacial Cascade is linked to Conk Effect, which even with Conk Effect has nice AoE, and Control Destruction. You can put Cold Pen in here too if you want. It doesn't actually matter. And when the Glacial Cascade kills a monster, okay, your Herald of Thunder just keeps like, your Herald of Thunder will basically, how do I say, just start chaining. It has 6 seconds to keep hitting mobs in the area, and that's it. And then once this is done, that's it. After the Herald of Thunder, like 6 seconds is so long that all you need to do is keep shield charging, right? If you keep shield charging, your Herald of Thunder will stay up, and then your Glacial Cascade will still go off for a little bit of secondary damage. It's a little bit nice. Okay, so once again, Glacial Cascade, Conk Effect for sure. This last one can be Cold Pen or Control Destruction. It doesn't actually matter. Okay, so getting around the map is the most important. You want to go as fast as you can. You know, picking items is faster. Like, because you're going so fast, like, you kind of want to make sure that you have Insanity Gloves, right? This multiplies all the attack speed that you have on the tree and stuff, right? It's like a more multiplier, and it makes you super juiced up. And the Herald of Thunder hits so often that you want to be going pretty fast. So nothing new to see here. Shield Charge, Killing Strike, 23% quality is the most important thing. The reason I bought a 2120 shield charge is because that base damage, I have an Esches meter, so it multiplies the lightning damage, and sometimes my shield charge can kill stuff. So but this is so like, you know, like far down the priority list that it doesn't matter. You can use like a level 1-0 shield charge if you want. Fast attacks 2023 is the best option here, and then of course the Fortify, 23% quality, so it lasts a little bit longer. This is just to reduce damage on you. Nothing more to say here. This has been the standard, you know, speedy shield charge since Insanities were implemented. And then as for my Herald of Ice, it's right here. So Herald of Ice is a 4-link. So what we lost is Tempest Binding from last league. So Herald of Ice can no longer be an easy 6-link. Now what I'm doing is I'm doing Herald of Ice. I have an increased crit, right? That's like mandatory. And then added lightning so that this shocks. Maybe it has a little bit extra shock chance, but the lightning damage is really nice. Increased AoE, no explanation needed here, right? You want your Herald of Ice to be able to chain as far as possible, and it looks really cool. Now, another option you could do here, if you really want a 6-link, you can buy a helmet like this. Okay, not to advertise my own helmet or anything, but you can have some kind of juicy new Atlas helmet. And this one is supported by 20 Ink AoE and 20 Hypothermia. So it makes your Herald of Ice into a 6-link. You put those in here, and there you go, right? Increase AoE, so you would take out like this. You can put in like Ice Bite if you want Frenzy Charges and some added cold or anything, but it really doesn't matter, right? This just kind of makes it into a 6-link. So you can do that if you want, but you're not going to really notice it. Like the 4-link Herald still kills all the trash so easily because there's so many Heralds of Ice going off that, you know, it's not like Herald of Thunder where it like hits them once, right, and they explode. This is like all the mobs are hitting all the mobs around them, if that makes any sense. So 4-links should be fine for you guys. The other things that I'm using is in the helm, I have an Ice Bite Light Poacher. Okay, so Ice Bite Light Poacher, I have to have this in here because I don't have Frenzy Charge generation, right? I'll show you my rings. My rings have Assassin Mark, not Poachers. So how do I get frenzies? Well, when my Light Poacher projectiles shoot out, if they kill anything, I have a very high chance to gain frenzies, and that stays up throughout the whole map. Right here I have a Vol Breach, right? And you might be wondering like, oh my gosh, your Light Poacher, your what's it called, Spirit Bursts are a 1-link, right? And you're like, that's pretty bad, but it's enough to kill all the whites, and sometimes with Headhunter and stuff, you know, the blues, the rares, like all that stuff. So don't worry about the 1-link. You can also put a Control Destruction here. If you put a Control Destruction here, you go like this, see? You put Control Destruction here in that socket. You take out your increased duration on your Vol Haste, and you put your Vol Breach right here, right? You could do that if you want, but I just chose not to because I like the increased duration. I'll show you why on my skill tree a little bit later. Okay, so Ice Bite is just for frenzies. Right here, I have a Lightning Golem. I want to move faster. I want to cast my Vol Haste faster, and I want to cast my Vol Breach faster. So that's why he's there. He dies all the time. He kind of sucks, and so just have to like recast him. But whatever, he's the best option, I think. I don't think you need like that much crit on this character. Wall haste, nothing to see here. Wall haste makes it so you're just a speedier dude. Let's see, and then so what else we got? Oh, okay. Let's talk about I guess we could talk about the overall gear now that we've gone over all the links, right? So we have light poacher. So this is basically, if you look at the enchant, you don't need that. You probably will not. You will not notice that, right? It's a 40% increased. It would be exactly the same if it's at 40% increased damage, like if you got skill points on your tree or something, right? So you're totally fine. And if you want to get a Herald of Thunder for cheaper enchant, that's fine as well. I think 2 sockets are better than 1. In a lot of cases, 1 is better because you can add another link to your Spirit Burst. But for me, like, this helmet has no life on it, and so 2 jewels. Look, I have 44 life here and 49 life here. So it's a 90. What's the math? 93 life helmet with attack speed, multi, and ES. Look at that. That's juicy. So because I don't need the damage here because of my Esh's Mirror, I just use the Abyssal Jewels, and that's pretty nice. So that's the helm. You like it. You'll notice it on open maps. Cleanup is really nice. If you're running things like sewers, waste pools, very indoor maps, you probably don't need a light poacher. Okay, like the projectiles aren't going to hit anything, so you can go back to a 6-link helm if you want to try that out. I tried it out. I play open maps. Even on channels, crossing the channel with light poacher was nice. So I went ahead and I used that. That's why. Remember, enchant does not matter, guys. Okay. I'm using Abyssals. Don't need to talk about this, right? Doesn't add any damage. If you do not have Abyssals and you want to use some cool ammo, I believe that the best option is Acquire of the Storms. Acquire of the Storms is like super nice, okay, like for the damages, and it helps you on single target too. You might even like be able to, like, if you're fast enough with your Esh's Mirror, you might be able to just kill the boss with just that, okay? But this goes is like nice for farming. This is a farming build, so why don't you just use this item? Also, you can use a Impresence Amulet. This is kind of cool. It makes a maddening aura around you when you kill. It gives life, a little bit of resist, a little bit of lightning damage, which is always nice. You know, Herald of Thunder has very high damage effectiveness, but this is just like the maddening aura is like a mini temp chain. It's like a 10% slow and like a 10% damage reduction on monsters nearby. So it's totally fine. Oops, I forgot to try on D&D. Okay. And so other than that, we have, let's see, we talked about Cospreys. The only roll on the Cospreys that actually matters is a 14% attack speed roll, right? That is the only thing that matters. Don't care about any of the other rolls. Buy the cheapest you can that has 14%, or figure out, like, you know, is divining it cheaper, right? The roll range isn't that big. These gloves, obviously, I talked about insanities, but other than that, you want life, and if you can get Dex is really nice because you can take off your Headhunter and you can do like weird stuff with Bisca's Leash at the start of the map to get Rampage. So Dexterity is really nice, but just get life, shore up your resist, and then have attack and cast speed. The best enchant for this, I believe, is Illusion Man. So if you look at my enchant, I have Commandment of Reflection, because when I get hit, it's a 10-second cooldown. A mirror image pops up and starts like attacking things, and that is basically like almost like a pseudo taunt, right? Like they can choose you or your illusion, and yeah, it looks cool, and it might keep you a little bit tanky, right? And I'll show you later. Like Pantheon, I run Soul of Lunaris and stuff, so like I can't actually get like chain from him. Anyways, so but the glove enchant, it doesn't matter either. Okay, doesn't matter. Now. Let's talk about boots. Boots, I am choosing to go with 35% move speed because I care about speed. Like, for me, farming fast is like, and with the Biscos is enough. I don't need to go more magic find. I just want the speeds. So 35% movement speed here. I needed the resist really badly. So I have some resist on here, triple resist, and some life and some ES. And the leech enchant is super nice because when you steal enough buffs and you're zooming, your mana is going to be kind of an issue. It's actually why I took life out of Blood Drinker here and I put it into quick recovery here, so I can get a tiny bit more mana regen right there. But we'll talk about skill tree later as well. So the leech enchant really helps when your heralds are booty blasting monsters. Like the passive leech helps you a whole bunch, and while you're picking up items, you're leeching. While like any situation, you're leeching all the time. Remember the 6-second like rotating chain of Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder will keep it up all the time. So try to get this enchant if you can. I really think you should. Not mandatory, but you're gonna see like I'm out of mana, I can't do that yet. Like all the time if you don't have this. But if you're slow and you don't have like attack speed on your jewels anywhere or on your tree, then maybe you don't need it. Okay, it's just safety, a little bit of quality of life. Talk about the rings. This is a essence worm. So So it's like, oh man, well, lastly you weren't using Essence Worm, why? Well, Essence Worm is because there's a new jewel called Watcher's Eye on the skill tree. So if we just take a look at it real quick, this is a Watcher's Eye. So there's two of them you can use. Watcher's Eye makes it so that while you're affected by hatred, you can get up to 1.8 critical strike chance. I have 1.74 here. The life mana rolls are like mediocre. The Onslaught is there so that I can drop a Silver Flask. I can use a Stibnite Flask. A Stibnite Flask is like super OP for defense. It's just like crazy when you're on the Abysses. It's crazy because it has 3 uses. It lasts for 9 seconds. So you just put smoke everywhere and you can't get hit pretty much. On breaches, it's insane. You put smoke everywhere on the edges of the breaches. You can't get hit. On bosses like Strands, Channies, you put a smoke cloud on them. They can't hit you. And so I was willing to drop Clarity for the Stibnite Flask I'm able to use with this gem here. But once again, sorry, I digress a little bit. The critical strike chance adds to the base of everything, to your shield charge, to your Herald of Thunder, to your Herald of Ice, you know, all that stuff, to your Glacial Cascade. So that is why I'm using what's it called? Essence Worm. Now, keep in mind, if you don't have an Essence Worm, you can't use Hatred, okay? So that's why you have to use it, because remember, the chest does 45% reservation for both heralds. That's 90%, so you have to use this. 21 hatred, nothing to see here, and this hatred gives a little bit to Glacial Cascade, and the hatred gives a little bit of damage to Light Poacher, right? Because they're physical spells. So super nice there, and very nice synergy there. Okay. The little swap you can do. Where's my other one? Yeah, where's my Watcher's Eye? Did I lose it? Oh, I have this one. Okay, here we go. You also have this. You also have this Watcher's Eye right here. See, this one is the same exact thing. 1.78. Well, it goes up to 1.8, but like crit chance added while affected by hatred, and this one has 18% mana gained with clarity. So if you want to use this one, you want to get it like 500, 600 ES extra with like no extra investment on the tree. You can swap it in. Mine's skinned, and you can swap this in and put a clarity right here for the Vault Breach, and then Vault Breach goes into increased duration. Take out increased duration. See, take it out. Okay. And that's what you can do there. But I'm using this one because, once again, this flask is super OP. And since I'm almost level 99, right, running tier 9, so like, I don't want to die when I get to 99, so I'm gonna use a Stibnite. OP. Okay. And now let's talk about the other gear. Okay, look at this ring. This ring is very juicy. Let me put my Watcher's Eye in so I don't like sell it or something. Okay, I'm gonna get whispers for that probably later. But let's talk about this ring. So this is a Shaper ring, and it wasn't available last league, and it has life, it has some ES on it, it has double resist, which I terribly need on this build, and it has a little bit of crit chance, which doesn't matter because I'm Assassin, but we'll talk about that later too. Now, what you're gonna figure out is that, you know, if you don't have like Assassin's Mark on hit, or you're not an Assassin, there's gonna be time, and it happens to me still. I charge into like a blue pack at the beginning. I don't crit, and they all like swing at me and just booty blast me. You don't want that to ever happen. I know it's like a 1 in 1,000 chance that it happens, right? Like it happens to me once every like 200 maps, but you want to avoid that. So this makes it so that like anything you hit by any kind of hit, right? Hits are like anything that's like pretty much not degen and stuff, will get cursed with Assassin Mark, and that's base crit added on top after everything. It's not like multiplicative. It's not like a diamond flat. It just, let's say it has like 5%, you just add it after everything's calculated. It's really nice. And so that helps, and it helps do a little bit more damage all the time as well. But you don't have to have this. If you have Assassin, you're going to have close to pretty low. For all intensive purposes, you're going to have pretty much 100% crit on everything, right? So you get a diamond ring if you can. Get an opal ring. Opal ring is really nice too. Life, show up your resist. That's all that matters. Okay. Talked about this. Ash's Mirror. Let's talk about this. It gives you a little life, has a juicy amount of ES, a non-zero amount of ES, if you can look at my life there. And this is what gives like so much damage, okay? Like this thing, you're gonna, how do I say this? Like, you're gonna have like 50 to 100 stacks on average easy while you're going through a map, maybe more, right? Bursts of like more than that. 4 seconds is a long time. So this adds the flat amount to your heralds, to your shield charge, to your glacial cascade, to your light poacher, and this makes like, this is a huge more multiplier for 4 seconds. And since you're always like chaining until the boss room, like I can't say enough about this shield. Okay, it is so broken that you just have to wear it for this build, okay? It's so much damage, and it gives you freedom to like have, like, I have a 4-link here, right, in my Herald device, and you don't even feel it because it's so crazy. I might as well have another gem here that says 500% more damage, okay? So use this shield, like, gives a little bit of resist, that's nice. Intelligence is ES, and of course life. So nothing more to say here. Yeah, and that's it. The spiked thunder. Yeah, so use the shield, no questions asked. There's no replacement for this. Like this, there's a replacement. This you can use, like this you can replace. You can use horror gloves for 3.5% crit. Put your heralds in here if you want, right? But and this has a replacement. You can use Bisco's leash here. It's totally fine. These, like this has replacement. You don't need Assassin Mark, but this, no, you need this. All right. Anyways, I think we talked about all the gear, right? Flasks. Chemist Diamond Flask is staunching. You need to solve bleeding. You need to solve freezing, bleeding, and then like if you want, you can solve curse. Sorry, wait. Freeze solve is here. Okay. Sulfur Flask is for a little bit of extra damage. Bleeding, solving that is here on my Diamond Flask. Prefixes don't really matter. Choose whatever you want. And the warding flask is here. So now, like if you roll LE weakness, it doesn't matter if it's a yellow, red map, you know, enfeeble, all that stuff. It just negates it. And look how long this lasts, dude. This lasts like, hold on, let me press it. There we go. Okay, you see? Look, it lasts like 9 seconds. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Hold on. Look at this bar right here. Look at that. That's 9 seconds of what do you call it? Right? Of curse immunity. That's crazy. So I chose to go with experimenters because it has 3 charges anyway, so I'm never going to run out, right? And then Quicksilver of Adrenaline, you want to get a 30% one if you... Whoa, oh no, it's not 30%. What am I doing? Oh my god, dude. What? I've been doing it wrong the whole time. All right, sorry. Thanks for... Hey, thanks, me. All right. Oh my god. Okay. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw anything. Okay. Maybe I was using it to level or something. 30% movement speed if you can. It's like maybe an Exalt on the market during prime time. And the Alchemist makes the 40% above that on like the top line a lot juicier. And yeah, this is just speed. This is a Dying Sun. This gives AoE both to the Herald of Thunder, both to the Herald of Ice, to your shield charge, to Glacier, everything, right? And then it gives projectiles to what's it called? Light Poacher. It's just a great flask. It ups your fire resist. So great flask all around. I wouldn't switch this out either. And then of course Sulfur Flask, like you can change this out with anything. Like if you really don't want like this is just for my freeze protection. But if you really don't want like warding, let's say you don't give a crap about warding, you can put in like an Azubi's Promise for more damage and for Chaos Rest. It doesn't matter. Switch one out. Those are the swaps there. Okay. So we talked about that. Let's talk a little bit about the tree. So why did I go Assassin? Well, you know, there's other options out there. Because people were like, Sign has 1.5 base crit. You know, you could do other things. And with like Watcher's Eye having close to 2 base crit, Pure Talent has 0.5 base crit. Like, why don't you just go something else? Well, let me tell you. 0.5 base crit is pretty nice, and Deadly Infusion gives you 2%, right? So better than Sign's 1.5. Max power charge, you're always going to be there. It has charge generation, which isn't really that big a deal, but you can still get it there. Just juicier amounts of global crit and crit multi. And the real OP after this is this right here and this. So 100% more. If you put this into POB, okay, and you check mark, am I using a Diamond Flask and do I have power charges? You're going to be at 100% crit for your heralds. Literally 100%. And that is super OP. It means that when you charge into a pack, and unless they are 30, 60, 90% LE ailment avoidance maps, you're just gonna booty blast that monster, okay? Like, no questions about it. There's not gonna be a chance where they don't get crit and they don't get like frozen, you know, shocked and then like dead, and they won't have a chance to hit you most of the time, okay? So this is like the true OP. So I would really suggest trying it on Assassin, but of course you could go Scion if you're a hipster. You could go anything else, but just take it from me. Go Assassin, and that makes it fine, because like if you have bad gear, like if you have like no diamond ring, if you have like no, your crit gem is like level 10 or something, and like all your gear is bad, it's still fine. You're still gonna crit like every single hit. Okay, so nothing really to see here. I mean, you can go what's it called? You can go some life here. There's life to be gained here. There's life to be gained here. Life to be gained here, here, and here, right? You can even go down to the Scion Wheel if you're like super scared, right? Just drop like damages. But this is my tree for farming the Channies, farming the Strands to try to get some monies, and you know, not much to see. It's a very standard tree. Now, what are the swaps here? So this jewel is 0.5. And what else does it give me? See, if you hover over like the edge, it'll tell you what the jewel is giving you. It's giving me 25 all attributes. So if you don't have a headhunter, that's very powerful because you're going near Scion anyways. 0.5 base crit chance for Herald, super juicy, and of course for shield charge. And then the 4% increase, that's from the corruption, but don't worry about that. And then penetration, and the penetration is also a 14% damage roll here. So because like you don't have any pen, right? So pen is kind of cool. So this jewel is what I'm using, but you don't have to. Okay, this is just, I just love the base crit in the rare instances where, you know, you're not just like one-shotting everything on the screen. And what are you looking for in jewels? Well, I'm going for like, you know, global stuff because it's very hard to scale heralds. Heralds are not spells, they are casts, and so they are only scaled by like global crit, crit multi, and then generic damages, and of course ele damages. So I'm going for like crit multi, I'm going for the attack speed because I want to move faster, and then generic damages here, like right here I have damages, attack speed to move faster, and then generics right there. Here I have generic damage. I have cold multi with cold, and then one with lightning because that's all I could like find, but this is like fine, right? It's like a 3 mod pretty much. And what do I have here? The abyssal jewels. Abyssal jewels, you just look for like life. You look for like some kind of attack speed roll, like a conditional attack speed, conditional multi if you want, and then the other stuff is like whatever. Just get whatever the best ones you can. I have crit multi on there. It's kind of expensive. And other than that, yeah, see, life, resist. Oh yeah, resists are kind of a pain on the build, so I took alira for the bandits. But you know, generics, life, attack speed, right? And then of course Watcher's Eye. So Watcher's Eye is super expensive. If you take it out, once again, just go with any other rare jewel that you have there, or an abyssal jewel, right? And yeah, that's the tree. Not much else I'll change. I really wouldn't go ES on it. You just can't, right? Unique, 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 unique. It's just like, it's kind of hard to go ES. So that's the tree right there. And what else do I need to talk about? Anything else important about the build? Not really. It's super easy. Bosses, Vol Breach is important, so this is just for the bossing. What you want to do is, like, if Zana's the boss, right, you gotta think about, like, how fast does a breach open, and, like, how fast do they move to you. So, like, on strands and, like, channels, I'll open, like, right here, right? If Zana's the boss, I'll open right here. That way, like, the breach will expand, and as I charge towards Zaba, when she like walks towards me, like the breach will be right there and it'll slow down. And then as the breach is opening, like right here, all the mobs that come in, each mob gives you damage for Esh's Mirror, which is like a more multiplier. And then all the mobs also chain a Herald of Ice on top of the boss, and then it keeps your Herald of Thunder going pew 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 pew, like shot, like hitting them like every like point, was it like 0.2 seconds I think, or whatever it is. And so it's a whole lot of damage. Also, the Vol Breach spawns rare mobs. If you steal rare mobs with your headhunter, you just booty blast the boss, as you saw in that last map. It's hilarious. And so yeah, that's what you do with Vol Breach. Other than that, it's just a shield charge build. Make sure you use your numlock trick so that you're not walking around when shield charging. And that's about it. Always make sure your diamond flask is up. So at most, always make sure your diamond flask and your what's it called? See, diamond flask and quicksilver are up, because that's like the most things, the most important ones, right? These two, because if you diamond flask is just like 100% crit. Other than that, that's about it. That's about it. People are asking for, maybe we do this. I'll use a Sunblast belt, okay? See, this is my headhunter. That's a Sunblast. You guys want to see another map with that? Let's do this one. No sextants though. Oof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll show you one without headhunter. Damn. Monsters. That's bad. That's bad. Monsters. Okay, that's fine. And monsters and monsters. Okay. I'll show you beyond here. Okay. There's no headhunter. And then as for leveling, I use Apparatus Hooves for every single leveling character past my first one, so not too big a deal. Okay. Get my monies. Okay, let's go. Ooh, fusing. Oh. And then remember, with the Biscos, you get Rampage. Rampage makes you pretty juicy. I'm not going to do that Abyss right there because of, obviously, like time constraints and stuff. Ooh, Zaba, what do you have for me? Is it Untainted? Nope. Bye. Okay, we got a Breach here. I'm going to do this real quick. As you can see, it's exactly the same thing. Obviously, you don't steal haste, you don't steal movement, you don't steal Soul Eater, which gives you super speed. But I mean, it's exactly the same build. You see, like there's no difference. There's actually no difference. I'll show you the boss after this too, right? People are like, well, the boss though, the boss. Okay, I'll just show you real quick. Okay. Time to edit out the struggle in front of the header. Alright, I'm gonna just skip that. You see, like it's like what are people talking about when you can't run a? I'm not even gonna like loot. I'm not even gonna loot this. Like watch, it's the same exact thing. Like there's no like okay, wall breach right here, and then watch. Like what is the difference, right? Let me go get my loot real quick. All right, so that's desync. All right, I'm gonna pick up my loot and I'm out of here. And that's it. See? But the boss though. And that's it. That's the build. Hope you enjoy it. It's fun. It's really good for farming, and yeah. If you have any questions you can ask. Bye. Okay, that was the video. I'm gonna highlight that. I'm gonna export to